In this video, we're going to look at what are called the relational or comparison operators. In the last video, we looked at the arithmetic operators. And you saw that in the arithmetic operators, we took two values, usually like numeric values, right? And we added them or divided them, and it produced a numeric result. Well, in the relational comparison operators, we again take two values, but we compare them to each other, and the result isn't another number. It's a true or false value, or what we call a Boolean value. Boolean is after George Boole, who was a fundamental in the study of logic. Let's look at an example real quick here. We've got the relational operators here, and they're operators that you're generally used to, though the last couple might look a little unfamiliar. But we've got, your less than operator and your greater than operator. And, we can look at a couple examples of those. So here we've got, if we want to go ahead and try these, 3 less than 4 or 3 greater than 4. And let's see what those do. So let's move over to a Python shell. And I'm going to type that. I'm just going to type 3 less than 4. Now you might look at that and say, well, how can that do anything? 3 just is less than 4. There's nothing to do there. But this is an expression that returns a value. So any expression is evaluated to a value. What kind of value does 3 less than 4 evaluate to? Well, it evaluates to a true or false value. Now, since 3 is less than 4, when we evaluate this, we get the value true. Okay. Now notice this true value has a capital T. It's important. Python is case sensitive, meaning it matters whether or not you capitalize. If we do 3, if we type 3 is greater than 4, well, that's false, right? And if we evaluate that, we get a false value as the evaluation. And so that's what we mean here. And now you might question, why would we ever do this? And you're right, 3 and 4, we already know 3 is less than 4. We wouldn't ever compare 3 to 4 or two numbers that we already know. But what we would compare are values held in variables. And so we can use these relational operators to make decisions in our programs based on the values that variables are holding at a given time. So jumping back to this screen, actually to the other relational operators, you see here we've got less than or equal to. Now in math class, the way that you would write that is a less than sign with a bar underneath it. But we can't type that in the computer screen or in the computer keyboard. So instead of having that as one symbol, we just combine the two symbols, less than and then the equal sign, and that's what that means. Same thing with the greater than or equal to sign. And then we have these last two. Well, this double equal sign means equal to, and this exclamation point equal sign or bang equal sign, we sometimes call that, it means not equal to. Okay, and so that's kind of the same as this kind of thing, not equal to sign in math class. So the question might be, well, why do we have this double equal sign versus just a regular equal sign? And the answer to that is that the equal sign can have two different meanings in computer programming, and I want to explore that a little bit with you right now. So here, we have like 3 equals 4. Well, this is a comparison, a relational operator. Is it true that 3 is equal to 4? The answer to that is no. And so if we try to actually type that, we should receive a false, and we do. Okay, but what if you tried 3 single equals 4? Well, guess what? You're going to get an error. And it says here, can't assign to a literal. What does that mean? Well, what that's indicating here is that the equal sign by itself, a single equal sign, isn't a comparison operator at all. It's what we call an assignment operator. And in an assignment operator, we're using the equal sign to make a variable equal to a value. So, for instance, let's say I had the variable x and I wanted it to hold the value 10. I would type x equals 10. And now what that means is x is 10. The value that x is holding is 10, right? And I could check to see if x is equal to 10, right? Notice when I typed x equals 10 and hit enter, nothing was printed, not a true, not a false, not anything, right? This evaluation was just an assignment. Well, now I'm asking, is x equal to 10? I want to know, is that true or false? And so if I hit enter here, because x holds the value 10, that's true. If I wanted to know if x is equal to 9, well, that's false because x is holding 10. Okay. If I had another variable and I said y double equals 10, well, what's that going to do? I haven't given y a value. Well, this is going to cause an error because I'm asking is y 10, and yet I've never said what y is. And so it's saying, hey, the name y has not been defined as a value, so you can't use it, right? Back up here when I said 3 equals 4, well, I can't make 3 equal to 4. 3 is 3. And so it's saying you can't assign a value to another literal value. 3 is literally 3. We can't make it 4, right? X is not literally anything. It's just a variable, and we can make it 10. And so that's the difference between the single equals and the double equals, right? Finally, we have our not equals sign here. And again, that's a comparison, and we're just testing to see if two values are equal or should actually not equal to each other, right? And so, if you tried that out, 3 not equal to 4, that is true because 3 is not 4. And again, we can make decisions based on that. That's where those come into play, and we'll see those in the future. So ask me questions if those operators don't make sense to you, and in the next video we will look at the Boolean operators. Just a real quick wrap up here, the Boolean values that you saw, true or false, those are actual independent values in Python. So not just like numbers are values, true or false are actually values, and we can actually make variables hold the values true and or false, right? And so they have a type called bool, like I said. And so we can test the type of any value by using the type function, right? So go ahead and in a Python shell type this, type of true. So this type function is saying, what is the type of the thing in parentheses? So if I type true, I'm asking what is the type of the value true, and it's going to come back bool, right? If I ask what is the type of the value 4, it's going to tell me integer, right? If I say what is the type of the value 3.5, well, that's not an integer, it's what's called a floating point, because the decimal point can be moved and have that create different values. And the type of a word like hello would be a string. Okay, and so each of these are different kinds of values in Python, and so a true value, notice that's not in quotes, it's not a string, it is its own independent value there. And if I type an expression like type 3, the type of 3 less than 2, well, it's going to perform 3 less than 2 and return false, and the type of false is also a bool. And so that's the explanation there of what a Boolean is. And so you can see here relational comparative expressions always will give you a Boolean value, just like arithmetic expressions always evaluate to numbers. That's it. Like I said, next video here we'll look at Boolean operators, and we'll see you then.